What is going on, everybody? It's your boy John, and welcome back to Gearbox. So today we are in the lovely F-150 driving back from the lake, and I figured what better time to make a video of the truck than while we're driving it. So without further ado, we're gonna get right into it. Today I want to talk about a pretty important topic, and I think everyone can resonate with this idea, whether we're talking F-150s or really any car, truck, SUV, whatever that you're modifying, and that is avoiding the modifications that are going to cause more harm than good, gonna piss you off to no end, and it's just gonna be one of those things that's gonna turn you off from, in this case, the F-150. So what we're talking about here, guys, is a lot of people with these trucks, you know, the newer F-150s, get annoyed with that button right there. And if you are unfamiliar, that button is really what activates or deactivates, and you know, more often than not, the auto stop start function on this truck. Now, as most of you guys probably know, and I don't know the exact dates or model years, but let's call it anything manufactured after, let's call it 2019 or 2020 or something like that, is required to have an auto stop start functionality for emission standards. And we're not going to get into all of that, but it's a pain in the ass, and there's a reason why I coded that out of the Supra, and we just have to live with it in this truck. And that's really the whole topic of today's video. A lot of people get so annoyed with having to start your truck, go over here, hit off, and it's, at the end of the day, it's really not a big deal, but I'll tell you, it is one of the most annoying things ever when you're running around and, you know, you start the truck up, put it in drive and go, and you get to your first stoplight or stop sign, and the truck shuts off, and you're like, damn it, I didn't hit the button, go to hit it. And very minor, yes, but honestly, some of those really minor things are some of the most annoying things, and that is a common theme of things that I do or I talk about on this channel. And with that being said, there are a couple different ways that you can deactivate this feature in your truck. The problem is there's really only one way to do it, but the one way to do it is not the typical way that people do it. So let me explain. The way to do it is through a software called ForeScan. And don't try to say that word too quick, and yeah, it's problematic. Anyway, ForeScan goes directly into the ECU of your truck, and you can code in or out certain functionalities such as auto stop start. That's fine. Now, the way that most people try to deactivate that feature right there is either by pulling a fuse or doing the paperclip method, which, as far as I understand, is basically shorting out a switch to where it doesn't relay that information to the ECU of the truck. Now, let's talk about that for a second. I, in no way, shape, or form, recommend anyone to purposely short out anything on their truck in the event of it harming more things than just auto stop start. But one might believe that pulling the fuse or disconnecting XYZ would be the right way to go. And the real answer is no, it's not. Are you going to accomplish shutting off your auto stop start? Absolutely. However, that fuse that people talk about pulling and disconnecting is also connected to your trailer brake lights. And you might be asking yourself, well, what do those two things have to do to each other? And the answer is, when you have your trailer, or rather your truck, connected to a trailer, it automatically deactivates the auto stop start functionality within the truck. For one reason or another, I don't know why, but it is what it is. Now, what a lot of people come to find out, and this is where the headache and pain in the ass portion of the video comes into play, is they don't realize that this is an issue until they realize it's an issue. For example, I've got a buddy who pulled the fuse and went to connect his boat trailer to the back of his truck, and as he's backing it down, basically someone told him that his trailer lights weren't working, and he checked, had the trailer rewired, checked all the grounding, checked the truck wiring for the, trailer harness, all that sort of shit, and come to find out it was that little damn fuse that he pulled, let's call it 4 months ago, to deactivate this, but the whole time he was driving without trailer lights. Now, in the state of South Carolina, it is legal to tow a trailer without trailer lights, assuming it is daytime. Obviously, when the sun goes down and there's no natural light, you need trailer lights. So it wasn't that he was in a position of being illegal, but when you're towing, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be as lit up as possible so people can understand that you are towing and you're not as maneuverable, and so on and so forth. But once again, pulling that fuse is going to deactivate, essentially the towing functionality of your truck. Now, if you're the type of person who buys a truck and doesn't intend to tow at all, I guess to each their own, but even if you have the slightest possibility of towing a boat trailer or a utility trailer or whatever, and you don't remember that, like right now we're talking about it, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll remember that, I'll just plug it back in when I go to tow. You're really not going to remember that, and it's just going to cause more harm than good. And I feel like that is something where, as simple of a fix as it might be to correct your, mistake, so to speak, you're gonna look everywhere but that fuse that you had pulled to solve an issue not related to trailer lights, if that makes sense. And I would hate for one of you or for me to be sitting there and not towing, and then you hook up a trailer and you just get pissed off at the world because the trailer lights aren't working, when in reality, it's a consequence of deactivating your auto stop start. So really you have 2 options. One is to live with it, just like a lot of feature sets in cars and trucks nowadays. And number 2 is do it the right way through Forescan. But ultimately, you're not going to be able to take it to a Ford dealer for them to deactivate it. They're not going to do that. There are a couple shortcuts, but in the case of most shortcuts, there's usually some unintended consequences that is going to hinder your ability to use the truck to its full potential. And in my opinion, if you have a truck, it should always be ready to tow. Even if you don't tow, like, the purpose of a truck is to tow, and it is a utilitarian vehicle. So why would you alter the truck in such a way that would not allow you to use it to its full potential? Maybe I'm crazy, but that's just where I stand on it, because it is what it is. And yes, it's annoying as shit, but there are right ways of going about it, but it's going to cost you a little bit of money, and it's also going to cost you a little bit of time to figure out the software, where most people are just going to default to the simple and easiest way to do it, even if it would be classified as a shortcut. So I will get off my soapbox there. It is something that I wanted to make a video on because I have been asked so many questions. John, how do you deactivate this? John, is there any way around the auto stop start because it's annoying? Blah, 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 blah. And here's my answer to you. Is it what you probably want to hear? No. But is it a harsh reality? Yes, it is. So that is where we're going to end the video today, guys. If there are any other ways around it that I didn't necessarily mention in today's video, please drop them in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear y'all's feedback on how you've done that, or maybe some similar types of modifications to the truck to I guess, benefit you as an individual, so to speak. But once again, if you did like this video, please give it a big fat thumbs up. And as always, guys, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know the drill. And until next time, peace.
留在自己那张脏乱的床，手摆好姿态对我装上了。